Sideshow's new Huntress premium format has entered the secret sanctuary. Hey guys, welcome back to the sanctuary. Here we are Tuesday night, the night before San Diego Comic Convention 2022. I'm very excited. Leaving tomorrow morning with my son. Can't wait to get to the convention center and see what these statue companies and some of these comic dealers, what they have brought for us this year. It's going to be very, very cool. Please look forward to that coverage. There's going to be lots of booth tours, lots of photos, lots of coverage from the convention. It should be really fun. She arrived today, just hours before I was going to leave. So I delayed ordering her. I liked her when she was first revealed, but something, I never hit the button. And then suddenly collectors who did order it started getting that email from Sideshow saying shipping soon. And kind of simultaneous to that, Sideshow sent me an email saying that my Tweeterhead Joker maquette is going to be late. And with that email, they gave me, because it's going to be late, a 15% off code for anything on the site, anything in stock. So when she came in stock, I used the code. And she arrived today. I owned the previous premium format, which I still think is a great statue. I'll talk about that a little bit. But let's take a close look at her. Okay. This is the Helena Bertinelli version of Huntress, the third Huntress to have that name. She debuted in 1989 in her own, I think it was a mini-series. I don't think it was a series, just called The Huntress. Drawn by Joe Staton, written by Joey Cavalieri. She's just under 20 inches tall. I think Sideshow says 20 inches. She might be a quarter of an inch shorter than that. But don't be surprised by that bow staff. That bow staff is 17 inches long. So consider that when you're finding a spot for her in your display. Start with that portrait. I love the portrait. I loved it from the beginning because she has such a confident expression. Sideshow describes her as about to take on the mafia in Gotham. So she's kind of pre-battle here. But her expression is just total confidence. There's no fear there at all about what she's coming up against. There has been some talk, especially on Statue Forum, maybe on Facebook, that maybe the paint on the mouth isn't perfect. I don't see it missing any paint. Some people say, well, it's not even painted to the corners of her mouth. I'm not really seeing that. I'm not sure if pink is the color I would have chosen myself. It has sort of a teenage bubblegum look to it. I don't know, a striking ruby red might have been better for me. But I think it looks just fine. It's not a big deal. It is absolutely painted. I think it's good, but I would have preferred red. Maybe they think that pink goes better with the purple. You know, this was painted by one of Sideshow's best painters, so I'm not going to question her. But the eyes, those are just penetrating eyes. Really, really nice. She's got that window in her costume, showing off her six-pack. Paint application seems really good. I have no concerns at all about the paint application. You can see the different shades of purple there, more blue at the end there. The cape is interesting. If you guys remember with the first Huntress premium format, the cape came separate. It was also fabric like this one. And these were pegs that came out, and there was a hole here on each side, and you would put the peg through a hole in the cape to put the cape on her. In this case, they bypass all that by having it come attached. It comes right out of the box. The cape is already attached, which is nice because there was a problem with this in the first one. I'm not sure if some of them shipped before the paint was dry, which seems kind of crazy, but many people figured out after having this displayed for quite some time if they were cleaning it, or if they were selling it, maybe if they were disassembling it for some reason, that when they pulled these things out, it took some of the paint underneath on the body with it. And it made some really kind of ugly spots that wouldn't be visible if you reassembled the statue. But man, I sold this statue, and after I disassembled it, I had to tell the guy, this is not going to look great coming out of the box, but once you put it together, all the ugliness will be hidden and it'll look just fantastic. By the way, if you have that first Huntress and you're thinking about buying this one, I think that they're pretty much equal in quality. I think that first Huntress is a little bit underrated because of the problems that people had with the purple on the cape bleeding into the white border, and maybe that thing I mentioned with the pegs. But the portrait is beautiful, the pose is great, I like the base. So I think either of the Sideshow Huntress premium formats are really great additions to any collection. Let's talk about the base a little bit. Sideshow describes this as being down at the docks in Gotham. They call these rotting timbers kind of a symbol of the rotting underbelly of Gotham, meaning the gangs, the mobsters that she's about to come up against. And they describe these as some of the weapons that the gangs use against her. So you got the crowbar, you got this broken bottle, you got this knife. And one thing I wanted to mention that I think some collectors have already missed when they put this statue together, if you remember from the unboxing video and from the original pictures, I think it's the rest of this bottle are in shards along the dock here at her feet. And that was also present in the unboxing video. People are missing this in the styrofoam insert. They come in this little bag. And this bag is right next to the portrait in the styrofoam insert. It is super easy to miss. It just looks like a piece of plastic unless you take it out and look at it closely and see that it's these shards. And so they don't attach, they just get spread out on the dock at her feet. So don't forget those. So this, I guess, is supposed to be like green moss that you'd see like down at a dock on these rotten timbers. It's a simple base, but it's effective, it works. Sideshow seems to have switched over to more simple bases. For a while we had, things like that Green Arrow base, that's pretty detailed and interesting. And then we got the Wonder Woman, which is a pretty tall base. And then Batman here, that's a neat base. But they've gotten a little bit simpler. Like, for example, Harley Hell on Wheels, and then that Black Canary base, and then this one here. And I think what they're doing, and I don't know this for a fact, I can only guess because it's logical, I think Sideshow is finding ways to keep their price steady for premium formats at about $600 to $650. That seems to be a sweet spot for them where people are still anxious to buy, while many other statue companies are asking $1,000 or more for their quarter scale pieces. I really appreciate that effort to keep the price down, especially when you still get really good quality. This really is nice paint. Look at the buckle there. That's kind of fun. So her body type, I find this refreshing as well. She is not super skinny. She's got kind of a thicker look to her, still extremely athletic, but definitely, she's got thicker thighs, I don't want to be too obvious here, but thicker backside. So it's just a different body type. Obviously, women have very different body types. And so it's nice that we're not seeing the same kind of super skinny body type that we see in a lot of statues. We're getting something a little different. She is not out of scale. You know what? Hold up. I'm going to measure her. Hold on. All right. So from the top of her head, I'm not including her mask, from the top of her head to the bottom of her shoes is 17.5 inches. So translate that to 1-to-1 scale, and that would be 70 inches, which is 5'10". That seems appropriate for Huntress. So there's been a lot of talk on Statue Forum and Facebook that when people are displaying her with Black Canary, for example, or Harley Hell on Wheels, that she looks short. She looks maybe even out of scale. She's not. She's quarter scale, 5'10", which is quite tall. I think that's an appropriate height for Huntress if you look her up in the wiki. I decided not to go for the big wide cape. I think Sideshow's pictures show her cape in a few different ways, but most of the pictures show her with her cape spread out on both sides of her. I think that kind of de-emphasizes the statue a little bit and just gives too much attention to the cape. So I like to kind of put it off to one side. That works better, I think. But I might futz with the cape a little bit. I have it pretty much kind of straight down now. I might have it more blowing in the wind, but still off to one side. Give you a profile. It's really pretty. Here she is with Black Canary and with Harley. And yep, she's a little bit shorter, but let's look at why. Base is quite a bit taller for Black Canary. She's got heels on. Oh, she's got pretty serious heels on, actually. Harley's base is also taller. And she's got the roller skates. I mean, that really elevates her height as well. Together, I don't think when you look at their bodies rather than height, I don't think that she looks out of scale at all. She's just on a lower base. By the way, these three, I don't need to tell you, these three look amazing together. They look fantastic. The Black Canary piece, if you don't own this piece, what are you thinking, man? I mean, it's actually, I think it's still 10% off right now as well. And it might even have free US shipping. Black Canary is a great premium format. It's really nice. Harley, you've got lots of choices. You know, there's tons of versions of her. I really love the portrait on this one. So that's why I've decided to make this my Harley. But man, what a trio. They just look amazing together. So one thing I do notice, even though Huntress is definitely prepping for battle with the gangs of Gotham, there is definitely, in the last few years, kind of a pin-up quality to a lot of the Sideshow premium formats. Now, not all of them. Batgirl, for example, is an exception. She's full-on action pose. But Power Girl and these three definitely have kind of a pin-up quality. So does Catwoman, although she's kind of in between. But she's certainly sexualized in this pose, no doubt about it. But, you know, Wonder Woman is full on battle, but that's from several years ago now. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just kind of noticing, wow, they're really going for kind of a pin-up feel to their female premium formats. I think it has resulted in a lot of really great sculpts and the ability to put these characters together into some really awesome displays. And looking at these three together, I'm really glad I got Huntress because I think she looks amazing with them. Here's the art box. They went with kind of an overexposed look, which I think is really cool. Lots of different colors. You've got the Gotham skyline in the background, a good photo of the statue, which bleeds over into the sides with the cape and the bow staff, and then a closer image of her on the back. Really cool. And on the top it just says Huntress. And the bottom, the edition size is 1,750, which seems kind of high, but you know what? They're going to sell them. There's no exclusive to this piece, so it's just a flat 1,750. I got 996. Very nice art box. So I hope if I've accomplished anything with this video, I've at least dispelled the concern about her scale. She is absolutely in scale. 5'10" is a very appropriate height for the Huntress, and I think she looks just fantastic. Should you get her? Yeah. If you have the original one, it's up to you. I sort of kind of regret giving up that original PF. I could probably get her back for about what I paid for it originally, but do I need two Huntress? I'm not sure. But I think that first Huntress is a great piece. I think this one is a great piece too. I'd call them about equal. So we're very lucky to have two really excellent premium formats of this character. I'll put a link to where you can purchase her at Sideshow's site in the description below. I'll also put a link for Black Canary, and I'll put one on Harley too if she's still available. I can't remember. I got to check and see if she's even still available. She might be sold out. I'm not sure. If you haven't subscribed, this would be the time to do it because like I said, tomorrow morning I leave for San Diego. 5 days of coverage of whatever's happening in that giant hall. I'm not going to Hall H. I'm not going to sleep overnight to get in there. It'd be really fun. I've done it many years before, but I'm not going to do it this year. I can't sleep outside overnight. I'm too old for that crap. So unless like sometimes late in the afternoon you can get in. So maybe I'll do that. But for the most part, I'll be on the convention floor. I'll be doing booth tours for Sideshow, for Tweeterhead, for Queen Studios, for Iron Studios. Blitzway usually has stuff at Sideshow's booth. I'll probably do that as a separate video. PCS will be there and will also have stuff at Sideshow's booth. I think that's right. Same with Iron Studios. They have their own booth, but they're also going to have some merchandise at Sideshow's booth. So it'll be great. Hopefully I won't be too muffled because we have to wear a mask in the hall, but I'm expecting a lot of fun. And Batman Statue Collector is going to be there. I think Jim Mint's going to be there. So there'll be other YouTubers who will be able to trade stories. That's it, guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you soon with that convention coverage. Take care.